be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Such Good Shoot, Not Such Good Shoot, That Is Idiots, the Disney podcast about anything and everything in the world of Disney, Universal, Fox, I guess occasionally Xfinity. I don't fucking know. But we're here. I'm Dozer.
I'm Bruce.
That's Bruce. And you know what? We're here. We're here. So, I'm going to start off. 1. Genie Plus news dropped today. Hey, they're doing dynamic pricing based off crowd levels. Who saw this coming? Who saw this coming? Oh, wait, everybody.
Everybody.
You know what the problem is? Still too cheap.
People are just going to end up buying it. I think because people don't really know it took me a minute to learn to use it properly. That first, I would have done things differently had I known. I also don't think I missed something. I was not aware it was once per day, period, per attraction.
I did not know.
I thought it was unlimited. Once you do it once, that's it.
I dislike it more now.
Because I did both days. I did one Runaway Railroad. Even purchasing. This is something if there's lightning lanes still available for purchase, why shouldn't I be able to purchase? Now I get you should have to use your time. You can't just stack up purchases. But if I use it, Guardians Cosmic Rare is my example here, and Rise, I purchased it. I know Guardians had more available. Why couldn't I buy another one? It's halfway through the day. I get it. Maybe you want to say people park hopping over that, whatever, but just take my money. I will give you $14 more. Let me back on, please. I'm happy. But just Runaway Railroad, Soarin', I ran into this a couple of times. I'm like, Oh, there's not. My biggest complaint was times weren't accurate. And when I say that is it would tell me something's available. I did that. That's what happened with Splash Mountain. I thought I was booking it for 2:00. I clicked on it and it booked it for 4:30. And I was like, oh, or 3:30. I was like,
yeah, I've had that happen and I can't stand that.
I'm like, well, I actually didn't use it that day because I rode Splash. I stood by Splash, which was like 10 minutes. I'm like, whatever. And then by the time I got off, Big Thunder had no wait. It was a walk on. So I just walked on that a couple of times.
So I hadn't run into the limit of one per day issue, but that is because the day I would have run into it, I ended up with like 3 golden fast passes because shit kept breaking down at the most opportune times, or inopportune to piss us off, but so I don't know. I still don't like the system. I do think it is more fair than the old Fast Pass Plus book it 90 days out.
100%. This is a fair. Having used it, it is a fair system. I will give you that. I agree. It is a much more fair system.
But it has a pet peeve of mine. That's the cell phone. I don't like it. I don't like the learning curve. I think it's a little too high. But then again, everything in Disney's too high of a learning curve. When you have to have travel books with dedicated chapters how to book a reservation at a certain restaurant.
I've thought that since they opened Be Our Guest, which is something I've never actually table sat at, and I don't care to at this point.
That's not even the one the chapter's dedicated to. Cindy's.
Which talk about overhyped. There, I said it. It's overhyped.
Well, here's what I will say. Having done some of the more premium character meals, they're doing it right to a degree. I went to Cindy's for dinner, and I did the Snow White Enchanted Forest one. And both of these meals are premium meals.
Mm-hmm.
You are not getting some crap pasta. No, you're getting steak. You're getting good wild, like you're getting stuff you'd almost expect out of like California Grill.
Okay. Well, they've made it. They've improved it. Then that's good.
So it is. They've, in their way of limiting it, they've raised the price, but made it a nicer meal. I can't say that for breakfast. Breakfast is always a shit meal.
It's breakfast. What are you expecting here?
Yeah,
Unless you're having surf and turf for breakfast, only so much you can do. It's breakfast food.
I love breakfast food, but for breakfast at restaurants, it is boring. Especially because I will get one of two items. Because they are the two things I do not cook at home. I do not make eggs Benedict at home.
Shut up. I knew you were going to say eggs Benedict.
And because I am too damn Yankee, I do not make biscuits and gravy at home.
I agree with that. Obviously, I don't eat eggs. I love meat. But you also, if I made biscuits and gravy, it's going to be nothing like in a restaurant. That's why I like biscuits and gravy when I go out because it's going to be good.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, I'm not making hollandaise in the morning. Who wants to make hollandaise sauce in the morning? It sounds like a pain in the ass.
I'm a dessert for breakfast kind of person. When I say that, I mean, pancakes, waffles.
But again, you go to most places, they're like, we make the best pancakes in the world. No, you just make large pancakes. It's not that hard.
Some places pancakes are better than others, but not all pancakes are created equally.
They're not.
But I know exactly what you mean.
You're never going to be like, oh my God, that's the best meal. I got to come back here every day for good pancakes.
And I love me some pancakes.
Yeah, it's just not happening. I am more impressed by a place with a waffle iron that you can make yourself. Like, the continental breakfast at most hotels nowadays. Hell, I was just at a Holiday Inn. They had one of the pancake machines.
Nice. I did not use the waffle machine when I stayed at club level because I'm fancy like that now. But I did have a very, very upscale breakfast, which I very much enjoyed. By upscale, I mean I forget what I had, but it was delicious.
Yeah. So, all in all, raise the price, make it easier. And it's the stupid thing. You have to raise the price to the point that it does not become just a guaranteed add-on.
You also have to make it worth it. I mean,
yeah.
I found Genie Plus. I was really running when I walked on. For the most part, Lightning Lane, I really didn't wait much, which was nice. But that's the perk of it. But you're right. It should be. I get it with families. I get it. I get the whole. Well, you really don't want to charge too much, but all the other parks charge big for it. That's how you're going to get the added benefit. But I say this: what Universal used to do, you one per ride per day. I think they went to the unlimited format. If you're going to charge $60 a head to do it, it's unlimited. Has to be.
So, what I'm going to say, remembering back in the day, it used to be if you buy it at the park, it's one per ride per day. If you were using your perk for staying at a hotel,
it was unlimited.
That
makes sense. Which Hard Rock as a kid back in the day, Universal, I abused the hell out of that. I think I rode the Hulk probably 28 times in a row.
Bruce,
yeah,
we're not that different in age. Hard Rock was barely a hotel while we were kids.
Yeah,
you weren't a kid.
I was a kid. I was in 8th grade. I was still a kid. Young adult, fine, Mr. Nitpick.
No, that's more me going, oh shit, Hard Rock's that old?
Portofino. When we stayed at the Hard Rock, they were advertising their new hotel, Portofino. That was opening soon.
See, and again, you have to remember, it's been Yeah, I guess it has to because I do remember the deal. But it's been forever and a day since I've been to Universal.
I know. I'm
Eh,
just using that as an example. I'm not trying to have a Universal talk
Yeah.
here. I'm just using that as an example. Believe me, we'll get to Universal in a moment, folks.
Well,
I got information for you.
what I was going to say though is to a degree, Universal has to charge more. They have fewer attractions that people give a shit about. I am sorry, no one cares about Storm Spinners.
I don't think, do they even have? I haven't walked back there in so long, and I didn't go this year. I walked to Spider-Man, and that was it.
Yeah, but
My typical consolation prize when I don't fit on something, I ride Spider-Man.
it's a long way of saying Universal, like, they don't have the gambit of attractions. They have D and E.
No,
They do not have C's and B's.
no, they don't. I agree.
Unless you count all of Seuss Landing as a C.
I walked through Seuss Landing. That's about it.
Does anybody really ride it anymore? Because the Cat in the Hat has been like degraded to a Kennywood level attraction.
Hat in the Hat needs to be gutted. Rumor has it that's on the list. There's a little bit of a big project that's taking up a lot of time here.
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink. No, I agree. No, but they're right. They have to charge more. I just saying, if you charge more or you give it to certain guests, should already have that included on and staring at you for a reason. You know why?
I am actually not going to say DVC. But I will, and I'm definitely not annual pass. Annual pass is the problem.
No. DVC. The reason I say DVC is because I'm thinking certain premium resorts should be able to have a perk with it. They're the ones more than just anything else. Maybe even if you charge them for it, the premium resorts are the ones of, oh, by the way, you get a special one. Yours doesn't have one only kind of thing.
Here is my proposal.
Bob, are you listening? Go on.
1, you stay at a deluxe resort, half price.
I'm with you.
2, it is free at the resort at the park your resort is attached to.
I'm with you.
There you go. You get it for free, so you stay at a Magic Kingdom area resort for deluxe, free. Epcot, half price. You stay. Well, we will even expand it to two resorts because it's kind of shitty to give what you do with the Epcot resorts. They're called the Epcot Resort Area, but they're all kind of attached to Hollywood too.
Hollywood doesn't really have one, so maybe that's the one you give because that's where you start getting to Animal Kingdom literally has one.
Mm-hmm.
And with them having, that's where it starts to get messy. But no, I'm with you. It's something. There should be a perk. I agree with you. There should, because we've harped on this before. They're taking away the perks from staying on property. That's an easy thing to make staying on property worth it.
Yeah,
and encouraging them to stay at a higher class resort.
That's what needs to happen. But the problem is, having listened, and now my information is out of date from the last time they ran this because I do not listen to the modern WDW today. I do not like them.
I don't like them at all.
They are not Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Matt Hochberg. They're not them. They're not good. I moved on to Len Testa's one with Jim Hill because
that one's. Thank you for turning me on to that. That one slaps.
Jim friggin' Hill.
And okay, folks, if you don't know who that is, just Google Jim Hill Media. You're welcome. Down the rabbit hole you go. Bye, Alice.
when they sit there and they say, friend of the show, Josh Gad, they're not joking.
Jim Hill, for those who are football fans, Jim Hill is Jay Glazer. It's not does he know them? It's how close is he with them? Is he invite me over to your house close or invite me over for Christmas dinner close? That's how close he is with these people. It's not
Yes.
just, oh, I know them. It's, oh, yeah, I was with them on Christmas 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that's phenomenal. The way they structure the show, news, surveys, a little bit of something, and then a deep history dive into something. It's phenomenal.
It really is. I've enjoyed listening to that on my walks.
Well, I'm glad I turned you on to that one.
Very much so.
But back to where I was, back in the day, they were doing a price comparison between the Disney resorts and off-site. Low end, off-site wins. All day, every day, stay off-site. Even factoring in that you have to pay for parking, which you now have to at Disney too. Like, they've killed that value. Now that you have to pay to park there, you have lost the value. Moderate off-site. Deluxe is the only way you got on-site. But there was a caveat. Because Deluxe was winning on-site. No, wait, sorry. It was moderate, low-class off-site, moderate on-site, Deluxe off-site. And the reason they were saying off-site on the Deluxe was purely because the Four Seasons existed. Which, on any given day, a room at the Four Seasons is cheaper than a room at the Grand Floridian.
Unbelievable.
And I've never stayed at a Four Seasons. I have read about the Four Seasons. I have seen the Four Seasons. I know enough about the Four Seasons to know. And I have stayed at the Grand Floridian to know that they do not compare. Like, they're not in the same class. I hate to say it. Like, I love the touches and all you get at a deluxe Disney resort. But honestly, I was just at a Holiday Inn that was about the same quality.
They've taken what used to be the above and beyond, and I don't know. That's something I was questioning with staying at. Listen, it was fantastic. I think Brian, our friend Brian at Love the Mouse Travel, shameless plug, to infinity and beyond for getting me that accommodation. It was fantastic. But you're right. If it weren't for club level, I think does the industry just raise their standards? I've said this for a while now. Disney is headed towards Six Flags status. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that out of me. And sure, they are churning out quality attractions still. My love letter and a cosmic rewind, 2 episodes ago. But even the hotels, they're not what used to make them super duper special, super duper guest oriented. That's gone. And I question if can that be returned? Can you get that kind of goodwill back? You besides your staunch Disney people, you have a lot of others going, hey, I just stayed down the block and that was a hell of a lot better.
And some of it comes down to, Disney's outsourced the Bell Services, which when Disney ran Bell Services, they never stood waiting for a tip. They did their business, they left. Which works because I'm not sure the whole world is on to tipping as a common thing for Bell Services or tipping well.
They're not. And remember, you have such a culture, the vice versa cultures coming from all over the Disney World versus Disneyland. It can be hard.
I have had Bell Services kind of awkwardly stand there for a minute. Kind of like, where's my money? And I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not accustomed to this. And because this is really the option that was provided to me, I don't feel it's necessary.
It's not. I have not used Bell services. I get it when I go. It's usually just me, so not like I don't really have a need for them. Even this time, I thought I was gonna have to check my bag twice. My room was ready both times. It didn't. I didn't have to.
Especially since I am so accustomed to the I fly in, my bags appear in my room.
Yeah.
I drop my bags off at Bell Services. Why is this any different? Why should I have to tip you? I never tipped the guy that magically made them appear because they magically appeared.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And it's no hate. I have no hate on tipping people. It's more, I believe you should be paid your wage to begin with, a fair wage. But, that's just me.
Well, that's the outside. Remember, Disney cast members, they're not supposed to accept tips. After the third time, unless that's changed, you're allowed to accept it, which the only time I was ever offered a big tip, he only offered twice. After the third, I was ready. I'm like, third time, I could take it, baby. He didn't. It's like, darn. But, and then they say you're supposed to give it to your manager so they can, account it. No one ever did.
Why would you?
Disney likes to make you think Disney likes to make you think they'll find out and they'll know and you'll be in trouble. But
well, as it is with most of the lower wage world right now, the employees hold the cards. What are you going to do? Fire me? You can't hire enough people right now.
The only time if you work for Disney you have to worry is if ANA is knocking on your door. Be concerned. Advisory insurance, be afraid. Be very afraid. They may be smiling. It's like two members of, a certain federal bureau showing up at your door. Be afraid. They may be smiling. Friendly, they aren't. Advisory insurance could interview you, and 2 weeks later, you're fired. Why? That was part of our investigation, jackass.
Oh, people. Why?
But you're right. I agree with you. There's when you start outsourcing things like that, things start getting muddied, and that's the stuff at Disney that you didn't have to do things, but it's starting to add up. They don't see the big picture, but it's the little things. You have a whole group out there who used to be Disney people that are getting turned off, and I can understand that.
And let me just point this out to you, because the first thing they really did was outsource Bell Services. The first and last cast member point of contact for most guests.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Now, I will say, like most companies, the call center was outsourced, but the person who helped me was phenomenal. It was an after-hours call. I'm not surprised.
The call center is always a tough one, and they've made things so complicated.
But she patiently sat on the phone with me for an hour as we figured out how to get all of the people on both profiles.
And that's their own inherent issue. My Disney experience in Disney, whatever your app, they make that so much more complicated than it needs to be.
And the whole time I'm just sitting there because somebody who may be sleeping upstairs was insistent we needed to do this to make dining reservations. I'm like, no, you don't. We could just make a reservation for 11 people. They won't, it doesn't matter. As long as one of us is...
Correct.
It doesn't even matter if you have a park reservation that day, which is asinine to me.
Man, Bella's learning about this stuff fast.
Bella's more knowledgeable than your average toddler in Disney.
I know she is. That's what I'm saying. She would be fun to see on a Runaway Railway, and when she's old enough, Guardians. That will be a delight for you.
So, I would like to point out that my daughter, clearly my daughter, asked to watch more videos of Disney cruises so she could decide on which ship she wanted to go on for her birthday.
Oh my! Tell me it's your daughter without telling me it's your daughter.
And
That's what that is.
I did not know which way to tell her. I'm sorry, your mom had already decided it's the Wish, and that's what we're going on. That's not what Daddy wanted. Daddy was going for the Fantasy on a 7-night. Meg, we went for the shorter one on the Wish. I have not seen good reviews of the Wish.
I have, but oh, how do I put this politely? This is not filled with Kool-Aid. I have seen great reviews from Bubbles, from the Bubble, if you know what I mean.
Yes. But here's the thing. The Wish, which, watch one of the big tours of it. They have changed a couple things that have upset several sects of Disney cruisers. One of them is they have greatly diminished the adults-only spaces. Which, I'm going with a kid. I don't care about. A couple of the videos I watched were bemoaning this. And I have sat there and I kind of went...
Then why are you on a Disney cruise?
They're on a Disney cruise so they could have their kids there. They go to the kids-only space and the adults go to the adults-only.
Got it.
Not a lot of the commingling. It works wonders. You, like on one of the older ships, you do not actually see a lot of kids. Well, you do if you go to the pool deck, but anywhere else, no. But I also sat there and went, I don't know what cruises you have been doing, but every time I've been on a Disney ship and have wandered into the adults-only spaces, and every cruise I've been on before this, we were only adults, so we would go there frequently. They were deserted. Like, no one was there. I don't know why people were so concerned. And they were always tucked away in the aft of the ship. And it was this little... It was really neat, and I appreciate it. It was this district with all the clubs and bars.
Yeah.
They have taken that, and they have now spread it out throughout the ship. More like a traditional cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, you still have the spaces. They're just... It's not the district where you go, well, we had our pre-dinner drinks at the piano bar. Now let's go get rowdy at the Irish pub.
Was there at least a red light hanging there? Because I feel that's what that needs.
No. Just called the district. And the coolest thing, the Fantasy had the best district. Because you walked in, and you had to walk through the one club to get to everything else. And it was this merry-go-round themed club of awesomeness. And then there was a champagne club.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. You know what not to do in the champagne room, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Now, since we're talking about the champagne room, another issue people have had is they've kind of changed the rainforest room / spa area. The Fantasy has by far the best one. The Magic's is eh. So the Wish is kind of hearkening back to the Wish, back to the Magic, where the rainforest room is just like a giant spa waiting room, but you could join it for the day. It's got a sauna. It's got a steam room. It's got warming chairs. It's nice. On the Fantasy, they have little showers, little aromatherapy showers you could do.
Fancy.
But they took that out. But on the Magic, and it's not, you have to book these separately, but I don't know what else to call them other than the boinking rooms. Because you get these, and it is a couple's, I forget what they call it, but it's essentially like You go in this room, they have hot showers, baths, it's private, it's just the two of you. They have scrubs you can use. I
I have a question. When you enter, is Donna Summers "Turn Off the Lights" playing? Turn off the lights, sweet darling, because tonight we're all the way. That's what I feel like when you walk in should be playing.
I wish it was, but no, it's the same standard spa music. That kind of sounds like Mario underwater level music.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to ride the Wish. It's a larger ship. Apparently, it has much better on-deck food options.
That's positive. That's good.
Yeah. And really, you eat more food on deck than you'd ever like to admit. And unlike a lot of cruise ships, all the on-deck food is still free.
Okay. I remember I've only done one. So when you say on deck, that means kind of like your mess hall.
Quick service.
Excuse me not knowing, but I realize I'm saying yes, and I'm yes manning you. I have no idea what you're talking about.
On deck in this case would mean quick service places on the pool deck, more or less.
Got it. Okay. Nope. With you. I'm with you. I got you now. Okay.
Oh, and one of the big complaints is the big buffet. Because remember, Disney does rotational dining. So you have 3 restaurants you rotate between, and then there's the buffet. And every morning, 1 or 2 of those sit-down restaurants will be open for breakfast and lunch. And you could just go there and sit down and eat. And the buffet's open. And then Disney also always kept the buffet open for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't want to do your rotational dining, the buffet is no longer open for dinner.
Boo!
Yeah.
John Pinette is judging you, Wish. John Pinette's looking down, and he's judging you.
Also, the pirate party no longer has a buffet at the end of it.
Boo.
So, that's just a complaint. I don't know. It won't matter to me much because by the time the pirate party's over, I'm going to be putting a toddler to bed. So,
I get it.
It's more just why people? Why are we doing it this way? And there's more on-deck food options that are good. More quick serve, barbecue, burgers.
Barbecue.
But no endless sushi buffet. Not that I ever got the sushi. That never looked good.
I would say boo, but I'm not a sushi person. So if you are a sushi person, boo.
But I never enjoyed the buffet on a Disney cruise. It's okay.
Buffets are buffets.
Also, and he can't tell if it was a change by need or by COVID. But the buffet has also gone to mainly you're served. So you pass your plate over, a cast member fills it up and passes it back.
Got it.
As opposed to scoop it out. And he was bitching about this, and I'm going, you know what? I have witnessed an entire tray of food thrown out because of a dumbass.
I will say this: this is going back years to when I lived in Florida. That was the second time. It might have been the first time we went to eat at a Golden Corral, and I made everybody leave because before I said we're not paying, we're getting out of here. We were waiting in line for food, and I saw people just grabbing food. I'm like, no, I'm out. Gross. I'm out.
Yeah, and Disney is really good. Like they see somebody break the common courtesy rules. And they take that tray and it is disposed of. But you watch that and you just go, why?
Some people just, I want to say they're either not, I'd like to hope they're not thinking. If not, they just don't care about anybody else around them. And that's fine, but come on. We're all in this together. We all want to eat.
And in some cases, it is much more than just germs. You're talking allergens, you're talking,
It could be anything.
yeah, it's not worth it. So I'm not really bemoaning that change.
I don't want your dysentery.
Yeah. Well, it's a cruise ship. I don't want your norovirus.
Neurovirus, dysentery, cholera, take your pick.
So I'm not too picky about that. The thing I do like is they've changed how the pools are. So now they have like 8 small pools as opposed to one big pool.
That's good. I think that would work better.
They're all in tiers, and some people are like, "Ah, you can't swim in it." Nobody swims in a cruise ship pool.
Don't you just kind of lounge?
Yeah, nobody like swims a lap. Like that's not what people do.
What? This is how you want to get your exercise in? They need an Olympic-sized swimming pool for you? Get out of here.
And I have heard criticism, and I will give judgment when I ride it. The first Disney attraction at sea is apparently not that good.
What is it?
It is a modified aqua coaster. They call it the first attraction at sea because there is a story to it.
I was gonna say, didn't we have the aqueduct?
We did. But there are like actual screens and videos and story to it.
Gotcha.
If I remember my viewing of it correctly, it's kind of like Jurassic Park, the ride. The lift hill is everything.
Boo. Water coasters are just supposed to be, first off, I love water coasters because at my size, it's a massage. Every time you go over the rollers, it's woo! But water coasters are just fun. They're just, oh, look, I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm going up, I'm going down. Whee! Splash.
And then one of the complaints, and I will take this, like the quiet section of the adults only area butts up right to the beginning of the attraction part of that ride. So you just hear the ride. You hear this crappy Mickey and Minnie underwater thing for hours.
It's the cast members I feel most bad for.
Yeah. I'm excited to go on this ship, and I will give a real review once I go on there in May, but I'm not overly enthused.
I can understand. Hey, hopefully, no matter what, it's just a good time. That's all that matters.
Yeah. And one day I will go on my dream cruise, which is oddly enough going to be probably on the Wonder. Which at the conclusion of this will still be the only ship I've yet to cruise on from the Disney cruise fleet.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
I think. I think I've done the Dream. It's hard to
God, I remember when the Dream was brand new. That feels like forever ago.
I remember when the Dream was big.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, now, like, the Magic and Wonder are like nothing.
Teeny tiny.
Not teeny tiny. I've been on teeny tiny. Silver Sea was teeny
Well,
tiny.
that's a different level. That doesn't count.
Another, I'm not going to say complaint, observation from the videos. In the interior staterooms, they have done away with the magic portholes, which were screens that made it look like you had a porthole.
Yeah.
They don't have those anymore. They're just back to interior staterooms.
Boo.
And I am going to take a guess, a hope, that they just weren't well received.
That's what it could have been.
But other cruise ships have implemented it, so I can't imagine it's terribly poorly received.
I'm going with the Chapek regime, and I'm going to do that.
Chapek. Keeping in mind, the finishing touches for this ship were put in 2020 to 2021 to set sail in 2022.
Classic Chapek.
Well, GPEC and COVID.
Yeah, well, that I knew.
Well, I'll give JPEG some restraint there because, technically you have to keep the budget separate. The cruise line's its own entity. So, you have to work within the budget of the cruise. And they were hurting for money because they weren't making money.
I know. My friend is the social media for the cruises.
God help them.
I know.
I can't imagine that's a fun job.
It has its moments, but they have a job, but that's all that matters. It was looking very grim there for a minute.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Since I don't trust Disney, when they told me one thing, I'm like, you were just secretly, I'm like, I think you were just replaced. And of course, the dickheads didn't tell you. They weren't. Luckily, I was wrong, but don't trust it.
No. But it's not like being social media for Wendy's.
No, you don't have, honestly, Wendy's, believe it or not, Universal is wonderful with the snark. Not as good as Wendy's because no one's as good as Wendy's. But those are two of my favorite pages because, man, they are snarky and I love it. Wendy's, nobody beats the Wiz. Nobody beats Wendy's when it comes to their social media. The snark is awesome.
Speaking of snark is awesome. I'm touching on my other favorite subject, which is wrestling.
Please.
Last night, we had the 25th anniversary of DX.
Oh my gosh. You're making me feel old.
You are. Welcome to the club. And on it, because AEW takes constant shots at WWE, like big, overt, over-the-bow shots.
Which doesn't make sense to me. You both can exist with easily. You don't need to compete.
And occasionally WWE just comes in with this little quick jab to the kidney where they're in the back and they're talking and Triple H is being corporate Triple H still, but the other members are there. And they're talking about things they can do and they're dropping curse words being bleeped out with the DX logo and all. And then finally, as they're walking away, Triple H just yells, "And no fighting!"
That's if you know, you know.
And you just go, "Ooh, that's a good one." And there was the second best line of the night, which it's another if you know, you know. And they're out there and they're doing the introduction as it's the end of the night. They're doing the big DX thing and the Road Dogs doing this thing. And for obvious reasons, Billy Gunn is not there.
Why?
And, he does it. He points the crowd to the mic. The whole crowd goes, "And the badass Billy Gunn." And Corey Graves on the microphone, he is, "I don't know much about Billy Gunn, but I think he's out playing with office supplies somewhere."
Was that scripted or off the cuff? You know what? Don't know. Don't care. A plus. A plus.
You hear that, you're like, you did it. That's perfect.
If Graves came up with that on his own, mwah! If he didn't, the writer, mwah! Either way.
I also want to point out that somehow this is the second time Billy Gunn is attached to a faction that has a 2-word catchphrase that will get people in trouble. Scissor me. Scissor me, daddy ass.
He's just an ass man.
Dun, dun.
I'm an ass man.
Hey, look, I gotta love him because his sons are wrestling there, and Danhausen has dubbed them the Ass Boys.
Listen, I remember as a kid watching the Smoking Guns. So I've seen the whole evolution. Always been a bit Billy Gunn has given me plenty of entertainment over the years. So I like that. The ass gun. That's awesome.
So, but I'm like, oh, that like they just do these quick little jabs that are not overt.
That's the best way to do it. Don't be overt about it. Do it sly. That if you those two, excellent.
Whereas AEW is like, and compared to that company in Stamford, Connecticut, that has 3 letters and 2 of them are W.
You see, all you're doing is proving you're nothing. You're no good. If you were truly good, you wouldn't care about the other company. You TNA just does their own thing. They Impact, I'm sorry, whatever we're calling them these days. They keep their head down. They do their own thing. They know
Yes.
they're not competing.
But here's the thing, and here's where Warner Media sees AEW.
I forgot Warner Media's involved.
We're going to go to soda here. WWE is Coke.
They're Pepsi.
Yes, they're the challenger brand. They're never going to beat Coke, but they're going to try. They're the Burger King to McDonald's. And Impact is RC Cola, maybe.
No, I like RC Cola too much. RC Cola is the actually superior product to the other two. So, maybe it is RC Cola then.
Rally, maybe.
We're just gonna say store brand.
The moment I went into Giant and realized their store brand had two versions of Coke store brand, and then still had a Pepsi store, you're like, oh my lord, you have gone too far on the store brands. Which one's worse? Which one's better?
I do love my generic colas. I love my store brand soda. You know that.
Yes.
Stars and Stripes forever, baby.
But it's just weird things that you see now on the cruise ships and WWE. It's weird. Anything else?
Speaking of weird, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind's getting a holiday overlay. They have announced the logo has come out. What it is, instead of having one of 6 tracks, everybody for a month. It starts in sounds like it starts in late November, going through probably the new year. It's going to be, they haven't announced how long. Everybody gets the same track. I don't know if the audio of the characters is the same, if they're picking one, but sounds like it's gonna be a medley of Christmas classics. So we'll find out. As we find out, everyone finds out more. We'll let you know.
Just an odd choice to do it in the first year.
Yeah, Tron is seen testing more, and more importantly, they were seen. More importantly, the most important thing of anything with Tron is, I was like, what is that giant tunnel? Oh, train tracks. Got it. It looks like they are working on the track is not set. They're fixing track in that tunnel. So every day we're a day closer to the return everybody wants of the Walt Disney World Railroad.
For them to just close it again for whatever the hell they want to do later with the Frontierland.
I already thought about that. Let's just shush. Let it go. Let's let it open. Just get it open for one moment. It was actually sad looking at the station in Frontierland going, you may not open anytime soon, are you? Sad.
I like the train.
I love the train. I love that the train exists. Honestly, I would have ridden the train back to the front of the park. I didn't feel like walking. The parade was going on. It would have been awesome.
I love just doing a Grand Circle tour.
Exactly. I like it to just exist. It's nice that it's there. It's nice. Again, Disney's about kids. It's nice for little kids to ride the train around. They love it. Adults love it. I don't have to walk. It'd have been awesome.
Yeah. It makes things more fun. And you don't have to get off.
Yeah, exactly. Jumping on over down the street for a second. Horror Nights added 2 nights, one of them being tonight. But if you are going to Orlando, going to the event, as far as we are aware, Ghoulish, their World of Color, their show on the Lagoon, it will not reopen. They are working at it, but it's not looking good, folks. With just 2 weeks left, Ghoulish looks Hurricane Ian. It's the only thing that got damaged too much was the Ghoulish set. So
for Horror Nights.
For Horror Nights.
There's that giant hole in Jurassic World.
Doesn't matter, ride's still open.
I know. Problem. I just laughed at the giant hole.
I loved at the panels that came off. I thought that was funny. A lot of these are built to withstand, so not much. Ghoulish is the only thing that got too damaged to operate. I like Ghoulish, don't get me wrong, but it's not like they said Bill and Ted can't come back.
Yeah.
Dig, I don't like Nightmare Fuel, but give me Bill and Ted back. While we're talking about Universal for a second, there are reports coming out of the attraction that is going to be at Epic Universe. And it's going for Harry Potter. For our Harry Potter fans, the attraction is going to be the Battle of the Ministry of Magic is the current working title as far as we are aware. But a lot of reports are coming out about what this attraction will entail. You are going to be, stop me if you heard this one before. If you like Transformers or Spider-Man, you're in luck. That's what the ride vehicles sound like they're like. To an extent, it's going to be a little bit ramped up, but that it's going to be that style of attraction. Basically, you enter the Ministry of Magic. You have to go to the trial of, I almost want to call her Imelda Staunton because that's who played her in the films. Pink lady, can you
Dolores Umbridge.
Thank you. I'm blanking on the character's name. I could think of the actress's name, but because Imelda Staunton has signed on to be Dolores Umbridge once again for the attraction.
The real most evil person in all of Harry Potter.
They have reached out to have the 3 come back. Don't know. They're doing one of these, but it sounds like that's what the attraction is you go to the Ministry of Magic, the Death Eaters arrive, you're at the trial for Dolores Umbridge, the Death Eaters arrive, and then battle ensues of trying to save her. She's going to try to get a device to go back in time to Voldemort, blah, 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 Cursed Child, because that's what it is. Cursed Child's all about time travel, so it's all about time, but that is the current, what we know of that attraction.
Okay. And, you're sitting there. What the hell's Rupert doing?
Don't know. They're trying to get all 3. Obviously, I think I know who the biggest holdout would possibly be or the hardest to schedule. But they said it sounds like they're offering anything, even just a voice. Even if you can't do it. The way Harry Potter has always worked at the Wizarding World stuff is they get first right of refusal. If they don't want to do it, fine, we'll move on.
Mm-hmm. As it should be. Also, as you run into issues as they are rapidly aging beyond the canonical ages of these people, well past the point you can still play the age.
Yeah.
We know nobody's the canonical age of the person they're playing.
Correct. But it becomes a look and a voice thing. Also the entire area, we call it the Ministry of Magic. Apparently, you are in it's going to be the Ministry of Magic. You enter into the French Hogsmeade or the French Diagon Alley, forget which one, but you enter into France, a French version of one of these two, and then you transport into the attraction to the Ministry and everything from there. But that's where you're told is the current theme of the overall area. Still number 3 or 4 on my list. Obviously, all eyes are on Nintendo is what it is. We know what it's going to be. Mario, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, done. All eyes are Universal Monsters is my number 1, surprisingly, mainly because I'm hearing they scrapped the other for a possible Wolfman spinning coaster. But obviously, whatever happens with Frankenstein's Castle and Van Helsing, because I will never stop talking about that, because I've been looking at these projects, as I keep saying, for so long. I have looked at these schematics. I just want to ride this stupid thing. I've looked at this on paper for so long. So long.
And man, when it's a disappointment, you're going to be crushed.
It won't be a disappointment. It's Universal Monsters and me. The odds of that disappointing me are very slim. I love those monsters so much. There's only one thing that's going to be disappointing, and that's Mario Kart, because it sucks, and we all know it. They're building it anyway, because, well, they have no choice.
Welcome to the Slow Speed Simulator.
Oh, who are we kidding? I'm going to love it anyway. It's me. It's Mario. I'm going to be in love. Just like I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the naysayers say. I love the trailer for the movie. I love Jack Black's voice as Bowser. And to hell with everybody else. Chris Pratt is doing just enough to give a New York accent and cop in a little bit of Lou Albano, Captain Lou Albano love for the Mario accent. We've only heard 2 lines. I'm telling you, when he's here the full thing, he's gonna have enough of that New York in him. It's gonna be good.
I haven't watched it yet because it just hasn't been on my radar because I just don't care enough.
I happen to, obviously it's on my radar because it's something I follow. And well, I was in the city the first day of Comic-Con because I was going around. What are all these? It must be Comic-Con.
So, since, we got all these wonderful things, Wakanda Forever, Dueling Panthers.
I'm here. Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to see Wakanda Forever. Trailer has me a little nervous.
What? You just the featuring of Namor?
You didn't see it, did you? It was real fast. I'm pretty sure it looks like it could be mechanical. Either way, I saw a large body with tentacles that looked like a squid to me. But I don't. The rumor of him being in it is so tantalizing. I can't really say no.
Namor or who?
The rumor of Doom being in the post credits. I don't. If it's that's the one, I will be so let down if it's not real. But the heavy rumors that it's just the Doom's arrival. It just has me. The movie looks good no matter what. I'm not saying who I think is going to be Black Panther, but I am in saying that I can't wait to see Shuri take over the helm. There, I said it.
That's who it is going to be.
It's going to be. We all know it's going to be. No one's complaining because she was awesome. Awesome. Great actress. Good for her. That's the problem. This movie is full of talent. It's stacked with talent, acting wise. So I think it's going to be great. Like Dueling Panthers, I'm here for it. Because for one point I was like, is that Ironheart? I'm like, Iron Panther? Question mark.
I am trying so hard to find it because my mind can't find it in the moment. But I remember reading an article of who they were thinking will be Doom. And I just can't remember who it is.
It doesn't matter to me at this point. Because I don't want to see a face. I don't expect to see a face. I'm expecting cape, metal, that's it.
Yeah, that's all it needs to be, but you need a voice.
Oh, the voice. Dude, that's kind of the thing. You could James Earl Jones. It's going to be a James Earl Jones style. It doesn't matter who you cast. It's going to be, I do believe this time it's going to be more comic style where Doom never has the mask off. And if he does, you only ever see him from behind, usually because someone's puking in front of him.
That is fair.
We'll see. I haven't watched She-Hulk yet. We're going to start soon. There's a lot going on. Halloween ends. My Hero Academia. I'm giving a few episodes before I jump into Chucky.
See, I've go on.
No, you don't fuck with the Chuck.
You don't. Let's see. I've recently watched Thor 4.
I haven't watched that yet. That's on my list too. I heard good things from you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's all. Your endorsement, I trust more than anybody else's. If you like it, I'm ready.
And it's definitely one where, can I spoil / not spoil something?
Have at it, sir.
So the one interesting theory that has been proposed that I am fully and wholeheartedly behind, the end credits and a mention in the movie introduce a certain other frenemy. Yes.
Okay. I love how that didn't take me that long.
Come on.
I'm sorry. Should I say bless my soul?
He's on a roll.
Thank you.
Which, oddly enough, ties into the theory here. because we have this weird moment here where we are introducing him to the MCU. At the same time, they're beginning to make his live action Disney movie. Where, oddly enough,
Oh,
the
sorry, I forgot about
Russo
that one.
brothers are producing the Disney movie.
Really?
Yes. Might we have one Herc to rule them all? And we know the actor in the MCU, and it is an actor who has been known to sing.
Who, if I may ask?
I cannot remember. It's not. I want to say it was Film Theory that dropped this one, that they think it's going to be one to rule them all.
Sorry, this is the brain. The brain is going full speed here for a second. I need to look something up because nothing yet. I have to change my tickets of this anyway. Movie plus Thor plus maybe one to rule them all. Son of a bitch. Okay, Hercules is coming to Broadway. Calling it now. And so I just checked the raw and paper, and I'm like, does it say Broadway bound? Because it's all adding up to Hercules Forever, and I'm okay with this.
And it. No, that's the TV series. Give me Thor. Sorry, this man's been played by a million different actors.
Brett Goldstein, I'm on it.
Yep. So, the coupling of that with the Russo brothers with Disney's Hercules means we could have one to rule them all. Now, it could just be leveraging the same actor in both, as we don't want to confuse people too much with two Disney live-action Hercules, or it could be literally the same character. And if it's literally the same character, well, now we're opening ourselves up to Bruce's frenemy of a franchise making a movie debut. You know what I'm going to say.
No, I actually don't for a second here, but I have a feeling I'm about to roll my eyes and groan. Go on.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god! No! 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 Nope! Nope! No! Nope! Not subscribing to this one. No! No!
I don't.
You know what's sad? I was, until Kingdom Hearts 3, I was the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan going. I would defend the convoluted continuity of it, and that movie just killed it. That game killed that all for me. Though, as much as I say no, I'd be first in line to see it if it became a movie.
Yeah, but
mainly because Final Fantasy, anybody, they deserve a proper movie.
Yes,
I'm calling spirits within a bad movie. I'm that guy sitting at the table. Change my mind.
At the end of the day, it makes sense to only have one Herc.
I like it. We'll see. I think it'd be interesting.
And it truly depends on how frenemy they want Herc to be and when he will make his MCU debut as the enemy instead of the friend.
He's teamed up with the Avengers quite a lot in the comics, though.
Yes, but he's a frenemy for Thor, and the post-credit scene sets him up to be an enemy of Thor.
Oh, please. Everyone's an enemy of Thor. I hate to say it. Thor has more enemies than friends, let's face it. And that's just the truth. Thor's off-putting, even in the comics. Nobody gets along with this man. Listen, you don't have to be a god. You're not called a god because you have friends. Let's put it that way.
But what I am saying on this one is it would not make sense to use him as Hercules in the Disney movie
If you're going to
before
make him to be an enemy, I agree.
he is the enemy. You gotta do the enemy first, then the Disney, which will probably be quote unquote backstory.
I'm sorry. Does Green Day appear in the trailer for whatever movie he's going to be? Do you know the end?
It's an after credits scene.
We'll see. I will watch that soon. I've heard good things. I've also heard my girl Tessa and me have a little bit of commonality here.
I think so.
I understand her and I have a love of the same medium, so
Yes. And I gotta say, they do well with the Thory. Sorry, I had to go with that.
I love it. I love it. I'm here for it.
Because the material they're given for the story they are presenting, they run into one little problem. If you look at the comics, one of the key plot points involves something they don't own.
What?
Oh, why can't I? It all revolves around this one sword. That's technically a symbiote.
Okay.
They never use those words. Because they can't. In the comics, it's a symbiote. It's the king of the symbiotes.
Well, they can't use it, but we've seen, apparently, I saw an article the other day saying in Black Panther, Namor, they're classifying as the verboten N-word.
Ooh. Well, it's not verboten anymore. Symbiote.
It is, and it isn't. They haven't used the N-word, haven't word
They haven't
on its own. But yes, my girl who was my Jersey's finest did say there's a mutation, but she never called them mutants.
Yes, but what I'm saying is they own the ability to use that word now.
Yes.
They do not own the ability to use symbiote.
Gee, I wonder why.
Nor do I think they want to own that ability right now.
Screw that.
So, but it's a very good movie.
I'll have to watch it.
And,
that and Werewolf by Night are on my list.
You know, it's one of those things like it's so hard to spoil. Like, there's not a lot I can spoil when it's very, very heavily based off the comics of the same name. So,
yeah, I already guessed a bunch of things with a certain character who may or may not be wielding the hammer at some point.
Yes.
Who may or may not have a certain affliction.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I know. All good. I'm still excited to see it because I know I want to see that. Werewolf by Night, I've been hearing very good things about just in time for Halloween. Since we're on the topic of movies, Halloween Ends, Peacock. It's not Universal. It's not Disney. It's Universal, but still, for my horror fans out there, Halloween Ends this Friday. On the Disney side, because this is Hulu, the new Hellraiser. If you're a horror fan, check it out.
I've heard good things.
This is a Hellraiser. I'm a Hellraiser fan. I love this. I was a little dismayed when Clive Barker got the rights back and sold them right away to a new movie. This is a Hellraiser for all of us. The symbiotes look so unsettling, creepy. The person that cast as Pinhead, she is fantastic. I'm a big fan of the movie. I've watched it twice now. I'm a real big fan.
Nice.
Glad it exists, but it is on. Since I qualify this as counting because Hulu and Disney.
Look, I'm just going to say this. It counts because if you're overseas, it's on Disney Plus.
I know. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? If you're overseas, it's on Disney Plus. But I went in with low expectations. Oh, it met them and beyond. I was very happily surprised. considering I love my horror very much, and we really don't have too many super big horror movies coming out these days.
Hey, it's what we asked for. We asked for all of them to slow the fuck down.
We did. There's only one franchise that never has quit. And somehow it's the doll. Somehow it's Chucky. It's the only one where Sadie's like, never! I have one story I'm telling. Screw the rest of you.
But for years we asked them to quit, especially on like Saw 47.
Okay, now see, one, they're making another one, so sorry. Hate to break it to you.
We asked them to slow down, not stop.
They haven't. I will defend the first 7 Saw movies to the high heavens. They tell one story. They really do. They seem like it seems like they offshoot. It's one giant story coming in a circle. Bloodsaw comes full circle. I really like the first Saw movies. I really do believe those were good. Jigsaw's no good, and don't even try me on Spiral. There is another Saw movie coming. They haven't announced if Spiral's involved or not, but there is another Saw movie in the works.
Yes.
From the right people.
Look, I've seen Saw 1 through 3, I think, maybe 4. I like Saw 1.
Really? You didn't like 2 or 3?
It began to go too deep into the torture porn.
I get it. I see what you mean. I know what you mean. I love them all just because of the reveals and how you have multiple movies that really take place simultaneously. And like I said, when you get to Saw 7 and they really, really are cyclical, you never saw it. He's not dead at the end of Saw. He lives.
Shocking.
Yeah, the Carrie Ewell's character Dud lives. That's full circle. He comes back in Saw. He ends. That's what That's why I don't want them to make any more. They told a story. They really did. I will defend Saw. They actually told one continuous story. That was it. It seemed like they offshooted. They never did. That's what I like about it. They told their story, and that was it. I don't like that they want to add to it now. At least offshoot it, reboot it, if you will. Do whatever you want to do. I don't mind Halloween having these new ones that are an offshoot of the original. They're doing their own thing. We're not adding on to 4, 5, 6. H2O was its own. Resurrection was its own.
You know me. Horror movies aren't my thing. I just really like that first Saw movie.
Oh, first Saw was lightning in a bottle.
And
they never could match that. That movie was incredible.
Like nothing else at the time.
Nope.
And it had just enough to be horror, but I found it a little bit more thriller / suspense.
It is. It has the guts. It has the blood and everything. But it was all of them are they do get more torture porny, but they are very heavily. There is a heavy story here at hand, even though it is all kind of samey. I think it was number 6 when leaving the theater. Somebody ran away from me because I laughed during the movie. Very much proclaiming that man laughed. I want to be nowhere near him. But I mean, it's a horror movie. It's meant to entertain, and that's often the times they're funny.
People have different senses of humor. Some people like the sitcom dad, Bob Saget. Some people like his stand-up.
I have a type when it comes to certain movies, and the fact that the rumor is Final Destination 6 will finally be happening. Yes!
Oh, the reason I still can't go drive behind a log truck.
I was behind one the other day. I was on the phone with a friend. All they heard was me go, nope, 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 vroom! Like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm behind a log truck. They pause. They go, I have a flashbacks, aren't you? I'm like, this ain't Highway 180. I don't care.
Yeah, no log trucks.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'll get on a roller coaster still, but
Mm.
going to tanning bed, I've seen Final Destination 3
I don't think that was really much of a risk to begin with, Bruce.
happened once. I lost a bet. Leave me alone. Luckily, the person let me go in by myself, and they said, "Listen, I'm going to give you a really short program. I can tell you don't want to do this. Why are you here?" I lost a bet. That's what they were joking around about. I'm going to give you like 5. Just go on. I'm going to give you a short one. You're just going to listen to music. It's going to turn on for a little bit. I'm like, oh, God bless you. I've seen Final Destination. I was really worried. The girl looked at me like I had 9 heads. What's Final Destination? To which one I left, I'm sorry, that's why we can't be friends. She also didn't get when I was joking. Why? I'm like, oh, God bless you.
Oh, people. Ugh.
It's also why I can't do acupuncture.
No. You have anything else in the world of news?
That's it. I got nothing else. As things progress, I won't be here next week. I'm seeing a show. But as we progress, everybody, in case I don't get to tell you, have a happy and safe Halloween. I wish everybody the best. Check your candy, be safe, but please watch as many of those horror movies as you like. Please enjoy spooky season, even if it's Hocus Pocus too. I didn't dislike it. I actually liked it. I actually personally don't like the original. I thought this one had more entertaining moments for me. I have quibbles, which we may talk about one day. I always have quibbles. It's me. But please enjoy spooky season, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally here. Support your local haunts. Go, enjoy, scream, laugh. That's the point.
And until next
If your
time.
local haunts McCamey Manor, I'm sorry, don't do it.
And you know what? We're the idiots. So
you don't have to be.
Bye-bye.
Come back.